Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's look is a requested no makeup look. I know I did do a video breaking down my previous no makeup routine. This look is something that was requested for those who have like 10 to 15 minutes in the morning to spare before going to school or going to work, or even something that you can do in traffic. That's how foolproof I feel like this look is. I did do a no makeup tutorial, but that was a little more extensive for some. With this look, I kept a good, I think all of the products can be found in the drugstore. I want it to be quick and affordable for everyone. So if you guys want to see how I achieve this look, keep watching. So because we're doing something that is actually not time consuming, I like to skip extra steps or unnecessary steps. So applying a primer to me is time consuming somewhat. So what I like to use kind of as a primer, because the primer that I do use when I do my makeup is a NYX Photo Loving primer, and it's a mattifying primer. I do tend to get oily a little in my T-zone, and wearing any kind of makeup throughout the day, you may find that your face does get oily. So I like to put some Nuetrogena Shine Control Powder. It's just a translucent powder. I feel like it works best. I know people who have really oily skin, and I've sent them to purchase this. You can actually get this Shine Control Powder at any CVS and Walgreens. I think the price point may be, actually I think it's like $14. $14.90 something to be exact. But it's well worth it. I've been using it for a little while now, and I'm a big fan. So I like to apply this with just any powder blush. The brush that I'll be using is the Real Techniques powder brush. I like to just get a good amount, and I tap off the excess, and I just do one quick little coat. Personally, I don't like to use foundation during the week, or even when I'm trying to achieve like a no makeup look, or when I do have some time to spare. I do like to use either like a tinted moisturizer. I would use a small amount of foundation, probably just to even out my skin. As some of you may know, our faces are always lighter than our body because we do exfoliate, so I feel like I have to sometimes kind of like deposit color back into my face. This foundation part, or the foundation step, can be skipped if you prefer powders over any liquid foundation. You can just go ahead and use any powder foundation that you typically use. And it's alright if you can't find a tinted moisturizer in your skin tone. I have actually learned that if you mix your daily moisturizer and a foundation, like a drop of the foundation in the moisturizer, it's technically a tinted moisturizer. So what I like to do is I like to use my daily moisturizer. This is the Aveeno Positively Radiant Daily Moisturizer, and I'm going to be using my L'Oreal True Match Foundation. I like to just do like 2 pumps in the back of my hand, and then literally a drop of the foundation. So to mix these two, I'm going to use my finger to just blend these together. And mixing it with a moisturizer will give it a sheer finish. It won't be as much coverage. And this is my tinted moisturizer. To apply this, I'm going to be using a beauty blender. I chose a beauty blender over a brush because I don't want it to look like I have a full face of makeup on. I want something that looks seamless, something that looks sheer. So with the beauty blender, it actually absorbs the excess product, and it doesn't allow you to apply too much. So I'm using a damp beauty blender. I'm just gonna grab the product onto the beauty blender, and I'm just gonna start applying. We have our face prepped. As for concealer, I like to use a concealer that is just about the same color as my skin. Concealers have a different consistency, and it does have a little more coverage than, you know, your typical foundation. So I like to mix 2 lightweight concealers. I'll be using both 2 different Maybelline Fit Me Concealers. This one is a darker shade, and this is a lighter shade. You may want to use a concealer that is the same color as your foundation, or a shade lighter. This is just to get rid of the dark circles under my eye. and you can kind of see how it just kind of tightened up under my eye. Add about like a few dots in the inner corner of my eye, not too much because I don't want a full highlight, and I will focus on that inner corner. It brightens it just a little, not too much. This is kind of a rule of thumb. Anything that is a liquid, you have to set it with a powder. So for my under eye, I'm going to be using the NYX Mineral Set It, Don't Fret It Setting Matte Finishing Powder in the color medium. I'm sorry, medium dark. Powder brush we used earlier just to dust off any loose powder. And for brows, we have two options. You can either skip the eyebrow, skip filling in your brows. When I do my everyday, like my quick makeup look, I always, even if I'm not doing anything, I always have to underline under my brow just to give my brow a super sharp shape. The next two steps that I'm gonna do are absolutely optional. You don't have to follow this. It's just what I do. I'm using the ANASTASIA Brow Wiz in dark brown because I feel like you can really control how much product you use and how dark you make your eyebrows. If you skip the eyebrow step, all you have to do is just get a brow gel. I will use a little eyeshadow. I'll use Max Texture or Max Shadow. I'll use that in my crease to create a little dimension. So right now I'm just adding two mascaras. I'll be using the L'Oreal Telescopic, which you guys know I love, and the COVERGIRL LASHBLAST Volume. As for our cheeks, typically during the day I don't really like to use blush unless I have lipstick on. You can still highlight your face. I feel like any highlighted face with a shimmer highlight, it makes you look awake. It makes your skin look dewy, but a pretty dewy. And I feel like just the sole purpose is just to look awake and fresh. With a highlight, you don't necessarily have to highlight your cheeks with an actual powdered highlight. Any mineralized blush or mineralized bronzer gives you that natural highlight and also bronzes and also blushes your cheeks. So I have this MILANI Baked Bronzer. This is number 4 and the color is Glow. I'm using a small powder brush to apply this. I get a good amount, a generous amount of the bronzer. And I just swirl that onto my cheeks. Real Techniques blush brush. I'm just gonna swirl that and add that right to the apples of my cheeks. Just quick. Finally, as for my lips, you have a couple options. You can either just add some chapstick. I have Blistex on now. You can just add some chapstick. A lip gloss, a lip liner, and so in Nutmeg. Tinted lip treatment. I got this at Sephora. It smells good and tastes good. So I did that. I used a tinted lip treatment just to add some color to my lips. Ensuring that your makeup lasts is definitely a setting spray. I picked up this setting spray at Walgreens. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Matte Setting Spray. This is your completed look. I hope you guys did find this super helpful and I found this as easy as I tried to make it. Thank you guys.